Today I've been doing my usual thing I do. I I just go around YouTube and look at things and that make me curious. And I came across the Codex Gigas, which literally means big book in Latin. And I'm not going to get into details of everything it is and length and all that because honestly, there's a lot of videos about this on YouTube. So they have a lot of information, but I'm going about this just as a perspective of somebody that watched it and has opinions on the topic. That's it. And I'm looking at it and they're saying it's the devil's Bible, but then historians are saying that it's just a famous book. And it just kind of linked to, I guess, it's literally just linked to all the Catholic stuff and just history in general with religion. And things do get kind of spewed up in any kind of religion. But it fascinates me because the historians are saying there is there was a compromise of pages at one video I was watching said there was 12 pages missing, and then they had some pages that were. It was originally 12 pages when the one house, the one castle it was burning. And anyways, I don't know who is. Let me see what this is. Anyways, that's my friend Carla from my Chong group. She's very discouraged with her live streaming. Very discouraged. But honestly, I'm the most unlikely live streamer ever, so. Anyways, getting back to this Codex Gigas. I honestly don't think that it is a holy relic, I guess, because a monk wrote it, but maybe it contained things that he didn't, maybe he got enlightened because they have ayahuasca or kalawa, I don't know what the exact name it is. But I think it's ayahuasca or whatever, I'm not sure. But they have this, it is like a drug, but it's administered by priests and it's a spiritual ceremony and ayahuasca or something like that. Maybe and back then, maybe this has been around for a long time. So possibly this is because maybe he had a spiritual journey and they didn't like what he's seen. Maybe, and they're saying the book's not horrible. It's almost like the devil's one is that the devil's picture is very prominent in it. And just thinking of like possibilities, maybe it's like because what the page is missing, the historians are saying could very mean there's another picture behind it and they think it symbolizes heaven and dualism. It could be just beware of darkness. It could literally mean that. And what the page is missing, it was such a controversial book. They're saying it was written in one day. And the YouTuber wasn't saying it was or wasn't. It just was going over stories and legends. But anyways, I'm not buying it was one day. But the YouTuber I listened to, he had a really good perspective because he said it could just, they how things get fabricated all through history. Or if one person says some, another person says some, another person. Maybe this is literally a different translation, and people kind of are just thinking of it differently. Because honestly, it could represent dualism. It could represent the two sides of how we are. I mean, we all have a good and bad side. It could represent that. It could have been some very innocent. And then they think there's prophecies and all that are close to Revelation in the Bible. Maybe this was the original Revelation, the chapter, and then some of the missing pieces were just the part that was covered up by, for whatever reason. And it doesn't mean the religious people were involved at all, because these pages became missing when they had to throw it out a window. They were just random pages, or it just could be, everybody's just, because there's only one copy and it really can't be duplicated, and they just think it's a bad book. Maybe it's a good book, because these archaeologists and researchers are saying that it really doesn't have negative things. There's really nothing bad about it. It says it has a lot of references to the Bible. But they can never prove one way or another if it was an extension of the Bible or not. I'm thinking that it probably, I mean, it could be. It could be one of the, interpretations of it, or maybe it was like his thoughts and he secluded himself for years and years. I mean, that's possible. He could have been a young monk and he could have done nothing but, sometimes they have vow of silence and everything. He could have took a vow in silence and said, I'm going to make this great book. And it's huge. I mean, huge. It's, I think what they said, it was like 130 or 160 pounds or something like that. And and it's as tall as a person. And it wasn't made of human flesh. It was animal skin, which they used for paper back then. When the donkeys were killed and used for food and everything, I'm sure they were hungry. I guess they ate donkeys too. And honestly, that doesn't seem like a bad coincidence. Maybe the donkey was already dead, so they used every part of their animal, and Native Americans do this, so it doesn't seem that bad to me. But a lot of people, there's a lot of stories you can believe, but if you don't know the whole truth to make a possible conclusion of smart matter and an intellectual aspect, why? I mean, don't patronize every single person that really just kind of wants to know the truth. And I'm not saying, I'm thinking it's like a monk really, it could be the monk's diary of what he views of heaven and hell. It could be just simple as that. But I guess they look and they're researching this, and it's a fascinating, wonderful book. I mean, I wish I could see it one day. But I mean, I'm not that important at all to be near that kind of history. That is like the Great Pyramids big. To be even allowed near that thing, you would have to have top secret clearance. I'm saying there would have to be, I don't know, there'd have to be something going on that you would be important. I mean, I would be afraid to touch it, and hold it because I'd be afraid I'd hurt it or drop something on it. I mean, it just goes to prove that humans leave their imprint on this earth. Nor it's through a book or just the stuff you leave behind, the impression you leave on people, the people you help. I mean, that's what our imprint is. I mean, I try to do what I can, but I'm trying to leave an imprint. I'm trying to, give perspective on things that maybe so I can understand to leave my imprint a little bit better. I mean, I'm not doing it to tell you to think one way or another, because that's not my job. That's your. I mean, everybody has their own job in the world, and I'm just looking for clairvoyance. I'm on a journey for clairvoyance, and that's all I am. I want to know before I die and leave this earth, I want to know the answers I need to know to interact with whatever's coming. And to me, this is just a journey interacting to whatever's coming to try to get closer. So when that time maybe comes, I have a way better understanding of what to expect. What's the game plan? Dying's a big deal. Dying is just as important as being born. Death is as sacred as being born. A soul is being transferred out into vulnerability. And who's going to watch over your soul? And I just like to know all the answers because that's a big event in anybody's life. And that's why I really started my Chong channel and I got my Chong group. And I don't judge anybody because I don't know. I don't know if what just because one person says something, I've had, I guess, spiritual encounters, but which one is real? Which one's not real? I think God's in the Milky Way, but is he really? Maybe pieces of God are here on the earth. But for me, I respect everybody's opinions. And it's important for people to gather for truth and not be greedy and selfish. And I guess it's another reason that I do this because I'm not greedy, I'm not selfish. I just literally want to give people an outlet where they could gather, give their own opinions, and have it count. I mean, I'm not worried about what other people say to me, and there's been a lot of times in my life where I was, but honestly, I'm just getting to an age where I need understanding, and I want to help people as much as I can gain understanding. And I know that just because you give someone money, it's not going to help. I mean, yeah, they won't be homeless, but that didn't gain me understanding. And I mean, if I ever was rich and famous, but I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just a nice person that just goes around and makes people presents. That's really all I am. I'm like that little fairy that just floats around. Oh, you want some perfume? This is what I am. I'm not the coolest person on this planet, and it's okay. I don't want to be cool. I've seen how cool people can do really mean things, and they commit horrible acts. And we're talking really cool people that could have done something great, but somehow things got messed up along the way, and they turned around in the end, but at the risk of a lot of innocent casualties. And I like to believe that you can contain casualties in your life by having a full understanding of everything. Like, before you go to do someone in, there should be a kind of some voice in your head that says, why did they do it? And why did that person do it? Because darkness and dark acts come from anger. And when you get angry because something you care about was taken from you, and then you say, I'm going to go kill that person. This is where these terrible acts start from. And if people don't stop the chain reaction, it just keeps going and going and going. That's why they always say abuse is a chain reaction. Because you were abused, and even though you went through therapy and everything, when you have kids, sometimes there's a trigger. Because that kid's going to do something to upset you, and you're going to say, oh, well, I'm going to go beat their ass or something, and that's what was done to me. And I guess there's a time and place for things, but you got to have clairvoyance and total, I guess, awareness of why you're doing something. So, I mean, that's just my belief system. That's why I do this. And of course, I got to get the cup that leaks. Because this is part of my crazy, insane life. Anyways, at least it's just tea. Anyways, I'm gonna start a necklace for my friend Melissa. But this Codex, I mean, going into lighter subjects because you can't dwell on bad things. If you dwell on them, you give them energy. If you give bad things energy, then they do bad things to you. And who needs this? Is what I'm saying. But my friend's child, I've been making her presents, and she literally keeps taking her mom's stuff. So I'm making her daughter something. So when I actually give her mom something, she will maybe let her mom have a necklace. So, anyways, I'm gonna cut this in half because I noticed when I had the string before they were so long. My friends put on their neck and that was going down its back. But this codex, it fascinates me that a book survived this long in history. Congratulations to that book. I mean, in only 12 pages after being thrown out of a window, that's pretty good. Probably because it was big. I'm thinking. That had to be it. But that's okay. Bravo to that book. And like I said, it could have just been an enlightening period. Everyone has an enlightening period in their life. All the time. It's just a time for enlightenment, and honestly, I think it's kind of cool that a book made it that far. Because I didn't know it went through so many wars and stuff and just times of history. I mean that's kind of a cool book. And it's gained a lot of publicity. Enough to have church people and everybody angry. It would be crazy if it was a monk's diary from when he had a spiritual enlightenment. And then everything got misinterpreted. I mean, that would be literally crazy. But that's one possibility what it is, because those monks had the best penmanship. And if you do nothing else in your life and you're stuck in a one spot, a monastery, a church, whatever. If you're stuck in these, it's, I don't know. I'm just saying you probably would have arts. You'd probably be the one of the best handwriters ever because the monks are the ones that did a lot of the books. They always had to do make their own copies of the Bible. So honestly, I'm thinking that it was a monk's diary or personal thoughts of his personal life and when he went into maybe like a spiritual journey. I don't even think he probably got in trouble because because it's not like it wasn't put in the Bible, and it would be crazy if that's what it is and everybody was making such a big deal about it. Because people do that, they get really upset about something because they think one thing. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not offending anybody. I'm just saying that the monks, I'm sure the monk's diary was better than any of ours could ever be. I mean, I would admit defeat. My diaries are pretty sad. I mean, this is kind of a diary because I'm blogging what I'm doing, so bloggers are doing oral diaries. So that's popular now. But back then, it's not like you can get on the phone and just blog an activity. And we kind of forget that. So we think that and these monks, they were very well taught. Very well taught. These monks are just probably one of the best scribers and everything. I mean, they're very close to God. They're everywhere. These monks are great. Honestly. So to me, I mean, and I'm not saying any blasphemy because no one will say I'm blasphemous. I'm not even near it. I just respect monks. I respect what they do. They're, I mean, they literally help people and they just do a lot of really good things. Is this, I got stuff in here? No, it's up to me. Okay. I don't even know what I do half the time. I do so much. See, I made her daughter's necklace here. I kind of just like these strings. It's a friendship bracelet braiding thing. And it was that crazy one I bought that I think I blogged a bunch of times. It was about how it had a knotting method and it drove me insane. They had strings. But anyways, I put a L there because her daughter's name's Lindsay, and then I put these two beads in, then I just tied it, and then these are kind of long, so I figured it'd be good for two kids' necklaces. So, and it'll make her happy because I think that she's been kind of sad lately, and she loves her daughter, and I appreciate anybody that's a good person. So, and I think her daughter will make her daughter happy, and I figure I'll make her daughter a nice, fruity perfume. And then make her mom another one. I just like to do this. I think it makes people happy. I feel if you do an activity that makes people happy, people just have a better outlook and you can. And if you give it to someone, it's like feeding people. Same thing. People that, say, oh, have something to eat or drink. It's just a nice gesture. I'm not the best cook, so I buy these little things to keep me occupied. And it gives me something to do because I just get so bored. So since I'm bored, I just decided I just want to stream. To me, it's like a video diary. That's literally all it is. And I feel privileged to be able to do it here on YouTube because you guys are awesome. You guys have good freedom expression, and I made this other one. It's so cute. Alright, it says, I put the little beads there by the metal. It says, she believed she could, she believed she could, so she did. And I think that would be perfect for a little girl's necklace. And I'm gonna surprise her with it randomly because I feel she's a nice person. And when I meet nice people, I try to do nice things for them. Because I believe you should do nice things for people. Because if you do, good things come. I try to be kind to people. Everybody tells me, why are you nice to that person, that person? I mean, I don't give out my money and stuff. I'm not worried about scammers. I don't be doing that kind of stuff. I'm not going to sacrifice my family's money. But I just, like, if I see someone's having a bad day, I'll might make their daughter a nice little present. Or their son, like, get them something nice, just a little present, because sometimes people can't afford these presents. And like I said, it's so easy to make this stuff. It is so easy. And that's why I stream while I'm talking about just my view of the world, because it makes it more interesting when you see somebody doing something that looks like something you might want to do. And it's true, because that's how I came across this. I used to watch perfumers on YouTube. Some of those guys are real good. Oh my god, and I learned so much from them on YouTube. My ex-husband, I'll tell you a story. My ex-husband, we our car didn't have any, didn't have a lot of, our brakes went down. It was something like that. And he went and I go, well, how are we gonna fix it? We had no money. He goes, oh, let's go figure out what YouTube says. I was like, oh, you're kidding me. And anyways, him and my older son Brandon went outside, and they ended up fixing the brakes. And they watched this YouTube video, how to, for I don't know how long, and it was a mechanic. And that mechanic saved me, like, I don't know, that brake job, by the time, years ago as that was, it would at least been $300. And he saved me $300. I mean, it was amazing how much money he saved me. So I like to give back. So, I mean, I'm showing you guys how you can make little presents that make everyone happy. I'm very popular at work with the residents. Very popular. Because when they're having a bad day or they're just grouchy, I make them perfume or something. Your coworker, you don't have, you just paid your rent. You got things going in your life. We all do. Understandable. And you don't have money to go to the store to get them nothing. Because you got lots of bills. I just buy these at a discount when I have money. And then you could get, you'll have little presents for people, and you're the life of any party. Because I just put little money aside and maybe spend 50 or $60, and then you can always sell a couple. You always have a lot of material left over. So on my leftover material, I just try to give back and help people. And I'm counting out the dots here. I like to put up to a light, and it comes down eventually. don't know why this isn't doing it. It made me a liar on stream. What the heck? What is up with this file? So they're supposed to be rosy. Sometimes you have technical difficulties with this. I just stuck a pair of scissors in that stupid little hole. See if it drops out. Those little girls like rose. I don't like it, but alright, I'm gonna try to figure out this. I have another rose, probably somewhere else. Probably for something. I'll figure it out if I can stick a whole needle through it. Trust me, I'm very resourceful when it comes to stuff. That I am. Alright. This kit, honestly, I don't know what's going on. But I think I'm just going to use some of my other kits to make her daughter some perfume here for tomorrow. She don't work on Tuesday. So I'm trying to get ahead on this. But somehow he's got to be acting crazy in my life. But I'm sure there's a way. I'm not going to waste those. So I'm sure there's a way of fixing it somehow. Or I'm not waiting long enough, maybe. Well, see, this is working just fine. Okay, maybe it was his bottle. Well, I put a little vanilla in there. I'm going to have to tweak out the bugs to some of these or order some else in. What if you make a decent living, honestly, and you have a little money to burn and you want to keep yourself out of trouble? This isn't bad to do have kind of thing because it kind of benefits everybody in your life. So that would be a good guy's one. And then it saves you money because also, oh, okay, I get it because this little thing goes at the bottom. That's why that's messed up. Okay. I'm going to put rose and vanilla together. I think that would be exciting. I think I would have pivoted up this. And I really like these roll-on bottles. I'm going to order more of these. Yeah, you can make a bunch of these. Give your it. Honestly, this has become a fun activity to me. It really has. I get to unwind, and I feel it used to be Facebook was my fun stream, and I honestly am thinking that YouTube has become my new fun stream because I kind of get to be creative and do something exciting and tell my views and opinions to people that I really sometimes don't have a lot of intellectual people to interact with, except for maybe Maria Harmony, my administrator, Chong, but sometimes I don't get to see her as often. So, since I can't do that, I just I need something to do or I'm going to go crazy. And really, that's kind of like the bottom line anymore. So, I'd be making these little stuff. But, this is very pretty. L for Lindsay. Everybody's kids, when I give them their presents, their kids steal their necklaces all the time. I think kids might be like my new fans in a crazy way. But now I got this, a gift set for her daughter Lindsay. She was saying something about an amethyst. I'm gonna get her a nice amethyst necklace. Oh my god. See, if Chong was here, oh boy, he would have took that. Okay, I like that black stuff. Very pretty. Alright. I'm just looking and trying to see the crystal. 137. I thought I was going over an hour. But I think I'm going to do one for her. Her daughter keeps taking them. I do need my crystals. I'm going to do that. But honestly, see, I'm just going to examine other crystals here. I got some interesting ones. I like to look at my inventory sometimes. I really like this one. Some of them are so nice I don't want to sell them. I really enjoy them. Like this one. This one's very nice. I like the rose and everything. The rose is wrapped around the pink. Such a beautiful piece. That would be horrible if I owned a store. I really would. I wouldn't want to sell anything. I would constantly be just looking at it. Like, oh, this is my favorite crystal, though, right here. Okay. I can't even freaking see. That's my favorite crystal. Out of all of them. I just get a feeling with that one. That was a nice one. But these smoky ones are nice. I really like smoky quartz. But honestly, I think if you get all upset over this Codex book, Codex Big Gigas, I honestly don't. I think it's literally just somebody's thoughts and spiritual diary because we all know monks are very deep. They're some of the deepest people I've ever heard of in my life. And they do good things and they're always locking themselves up in places or taking a vow of silence or various other things. So, I mean, they're just very religious people. I'm gonna take my head over the camera this way. But they are just very religious people, these monks. And I just believe that they lived to get their opinions and to get things out. And I believe that That's all it is. And people are just are getting upset over nothing. And I could be right, it could be wrong. I just think it's just something real basic. And honestly, it wasn't that scary, that drawing. They're just depicting the dualism of the dark and the light. And honestly, I agree with the researchers. So if you are worried about that being the devil's Bible, I wouldn't. I mean, I can't control what you feel or don't feel, but I literally would not. And it's a very cool diary, for somebody that spent that much time articulating everything. And we forget monks, their life is service to God. They had a lot of stuff about God in it. I mean, it can't be that bad if there's references to the Bible in it. So I really think it was just the way that monk felt about things. And I've heard through rumors that that book was of human flesh. And you have these researchers that actually tested the skin on the book, and it was goat. So it wasn't made from human skin. We use cow skin and things. We got leather coats. So obviously, if it was that evil, because I've heard that and it was a lie. So I really think that it was just a mysterious book that got a lot of unwanted attention. And it was probably well written, so everybody thought that it had to. I just think the guy had really good handwriting. That's what I'm going with. Because think about it. If you're so worried about the devil, he probably got his Bible on guard. No one's touching it. And if you went to go near it, probably something would happen. And even if you tried to touch it, you'd probably die. If it really was a devil's Bible. And it has switched through all these hands and pages were torn. If it's a true Bible, you can tear a copy of the Bible, but if this was a true original, you wouldn't be able to tear it and you would mysteriously forget it's there. It would have some kind of spiritualism to it. This is literally just amongst fantastic thoughts and just like Diary of Anne Frank. We read that book. Her diary was amazing. The Diary of Anne Frank is one of my favorite books about World War II and a girl being in the attic and she wrote. And it was published and it just shows her struggles through Hitler and the Nazis. It was a powerful diary. This could be a monk's powerful diary. And that's what I'm thinking, because that's what it presents itself as. Because I'm not buying that it's the devil's Bible. I'm just not. I just think he just was really good at language and really smart. Because most monks are very smart. People don't, they just think they're weird sometimes. Or they honor him, one of the two. But they're just very intelligent beings. They're human beings that are very intelligent and they're in the church. So their diaries would be of spiritualism because that's what they're never getting married. They're never in a relationship. Most of them don't have sex. So you're gonna focus your goal on something else. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong about things before, but I could be right. But I don't know. I would, if you listen to my video, go and just look up other videos of the people that are doing all the details of this subject and maybe just leave a comment on what you think, and if I get a comment, I'll talk about it in the stream. And I guess we'll go from there like that. And I'm going to probably end the stream because my friend Maria is going through a crisis right now. And I have to be there for her, and I can't really think of anything else to say about the subject. So I'm just going to make sure I click the proper button here. And I wish everyone a good night.